Military Lending Act prohibits certain types of usurious interest rates. When I say usurious, predatory interest rates. You can't just charge somebody whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Service Member Civil Relief Act, also a common service member spouse and dependent act. That's going to provide even stricter restrictions if somebody's called and on deployment or something. Military Lending Act, specific interest rates, no mandatory binding arbitration, no required allotment. So we'll get into that. And other protections that would essentially allow a military family to get out of this contract, this agreement. They get statutory damages, potential punitive damages. If we're successful, the company may have to pay our attorney's fees and costs, right? Those are all benefits to our military families in filing a Military Lending Act claim.
Absolutely, and that's why it is so important. Let's talk about, you mentioned it, the required allotments, because you made it known to me that was important to you to talk about. So give the people an understanding of the required allotments, because it's not, you can maybe connect the dots, figure out what it is, but give the people the information they need to know about the required allotments, not in the Military Lending Act, but how has that been a hamper on military families?
The first thing I'll say is most of these unlawful and illegal acts are told to me by military families, right? And they call me up and say, Chris, I don't know if this is allowed, but this seems kind of fishy, right? Like this doesn't seem this company is being very kind of deceptive and they don't want me, they're just hiding the ball, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to necessarily hear about all of these companies or all of these unlawful acts unless you call me about it and you tell me about it. So if you have a company that ripped you off or is trying to deceive people, or that maybe you just think whatever they're doing is unlawful, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out if there's something that we can investigate for you. But I think primarily the main starting point is where is this act taking place? What state? What's the law? And then we can go from there. And I'm sorry, that didn't answer your question, but I was thinking about how most of these come about, and it is from military families spreading the word. So with allotment, the easiest way to think about it in the civilian world would be, well, it's just what comes out of your paycheck, right? Think of your, if we were outside of Florida, your state income tax. Inside of Florida, you've got your FICA, you've got any of the other federal stuff that you have to pay. Pre-tax, you'd have your 401k or health savings or things like that. With military, on your leave and earnings statement, that LES has sort of an allotment. So when you set that up with DOD, basically what you're doing is you're telling them, hey, before I get the final net amount, I want you to pay whatever my monthly is to this company.
Yeah.
Now, most of you would, on the surface, just like me, say, well, that might be good because one less bill you have to worry about, right?
Yeah, just let them take it and, it's all.
Yeah, like direct deposit,
Yeah.
The problem is these companies know how difficult it is to stop that required allotment. So what happens is service member, their family falls behind, misses a payment, whatever. They jack the interest rate up. They start charging all these unlawful fees. You go to dispute it. Sorry, you got an allotment. I mean, it is like extremely hard. That's why the military, and again, this isn't me saying this. This is the military. This is DOD that said, hey, this is a serious problem. This is why we don't permit required allotment, because these companies are taking advantage of our military families. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing. So here's the interesting part, right? Consumer Finance Protection Bureau has come out and gone after some of these personal lenders and payday loan companies and stuff like that for these required allotments. There are still companies doing this. So on their website, they say, oh, we take cash and check and all this stuff. No. Everybody, when they go through that process, if the company is doing it unlawful, they're saying, well, the only way we extend that consumer credit's if you sign up for allotment, right?
Yeah.
You got to enroll in allotment. And how some of these nefarious companies are getting around that, which this is also unlawful, they'll partner with a local bank or like a credit union. And they'll say, okay, Casey, great. what we need you to do is you open up this separate account. You're not going to even need this account for anything other than this one, right?
Thing. Yeah.
One, piece of consumer credit. And now your allotment is going to that consumer credit union who then has direct deposit to the company. See the workaround?
Yeah.
It's still unlawful.
Right.
It's still sleazy and deceptive, but it's happening every day, and we gotta do something about it. I can't even, the amount of creativity that these companies have to avoid their obligations under federal law, it's like anything. It's like if they just put that creativity to good, like they'd probably be even more successful. But like they're putting it towards like ripping people off.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It is. It absolutely is.